form this weekend, Maddie, and he boots home another winner. Jodie McLaughlin saddled up 4 here. Great result, a $12 pop too.
As I said, I thought it was going to be a bit of an open race there, and a lot of them were chasing a long way from home. Schnoots, I was concerned that the 11 to 14 might have been a bit too far for it, but absolutely not. Was able to hold on, and if I remember correctly, I think that's young Bailey's first win at Broome as well. So I reckon he'll be very happy about that victory by himself.
A happy result for sure, and it's family day up in Broome. I have seen some pictures and it looks like a great day on course. Our attention now moves to Kalgoorlie ahead of race number 6 with that slight delay. We go back to back here. There's not too long remaining. Runners have entered the yard ahead of the Blue SPEC grade control drilling handicap. The 1760 here. Your best bet of the day here, Maddie. We'll begin our preview, however, with the one in Manavendra. Dan and Ben Pearson, Zeph and Johnston Porter.
And before we do, I just have to mention that a lot of Dane flew home for third as well just then at Broome, so each way backers out there should be happy. But moving here to Kalgoorlie, race 6, Manavendra comes to Kalgoorlie today and is well placed over the 1760, I thought. Has been running in some tougher assignments in Metro grade, up in the 66 plus grade at Bunbury 2 weeks ago. Was able to run into a few smart ones that day, never really got into the run, I felt. The start prior though was only 3.5 lengths off Zaza Rock and Fat Roy Slim. That's the Metro form staying form lines that you'd want to be following, and gets in here today with the claim as well. So only has the 59, which is manageable. Might just need a bit of luck from barrier 1, as I do map him to be midfield here, and as followers of Kakadu last saw, it can be a bit hard to get off the rails here when you find it.
Can be in for sure. Feuding is the 2, Peter Fernie, Lucy Fury.
It was absolutely huge 2 weeks ago here. He was able to unleash a great final furlong when finding clear air and getting past Kalida in the final bound. Had to carry 61.5 kilos that day and was still too good. The start before, probably let's not mention it to Lucy, she just got no luck in running. She wasn't able to get off the fence and was held up due to no fault of her own. But today he drops 1.5 kilos for the rising grade, but on the back of that performance last start, I think he's very hard to beat here and can notch win number 5 for Peter Fernie.
The 3 is Strike Now. Last start unfortunately didn't go around, did 2 laps without a rider, but does look well here. He's got the clerk of the course, David Smith, Troy Turner.
Yes, hopefully it doesn't happen again. As you mentioned, was able to get away from the jock last time out, so wasn't able to go around, and now comes into this 6 weeks in between runs, which obviously is a bit of a slight concern for mine. And he does have a habit of just getting out the back. He hasn't been able to break through now for a victory in close to 12 months. I'll probably just be looking around him here today.
The 4 is Santa Bray, Ross Craig, Alex Hearn.
I really wish he had drawn a gate here, because he's just had no luck in running at his 3 starts back to racing. He was 3 lengths behind Feuding when never seeing daylight, and then he was only a length off a 58 plus when really only finding minimal room throughout racing. And then he was able to run into Feuding again to only within half a length, and each occasion he's not had much room. So today he's flying, the senior rider goes on board, and I think from barrier 10, Alex is just going to have very clear instructions to make sure he can get into clear air and just see what turn of foot this galloper has.
Well, the jock will be very up and about. He had a very good leg up, then nearly went over the other side. So lots of power there. The 5 is One More for Leo, Brett Drury, Natika Riordan.
Doesn't really know how to run a bad race. One More for Leo. He's just your ultra consistent Kalgoorlie galloper who doesn't get a lot of luck when racing wide throughout, and he was the only horse to make up some ground behind that really superior close at hand form that I've referenced a few times now. He's proven out to the 1700 metres, and Natika keeping the ride means he only has to carry the 53.5 kilos. He's certainly one of the major players here today.
The 6 is Dreamtime Jean, Peter Fernie, Braden Garth.
Was beaten home by our on-top selection in Feuding last start, and he is gradually getting out in trip now. He meets our favourite, of course, 1.5 kilos better at the weights, and also has a very similar race map today to last start, where he sat outside Kalida. I think that's where he maps today as well. He's racing well, he's racing consistently, but I think he just might be a length or 2 off some of our more fancy runners here today.
Strike Now attempted his little tricks there while Jagsy went out on course, but has gone off to the barriers all well and good, which is great to see. The 7 is For Your Eyes, Ashley Maley and Keshwa Duran.
He is a bit of an enigma, this horse, For Your Eyes. He can go forward, he can go back, he can even sustain a mid-race move. He's proven first up as well, but there is just such a significant difference between his best and worst runs. It makes it really hard for myself to be able to trust him. And today, I think he's just been set a task, 1,700 metres first up. It's a bit of an effort, but we have seen the Ash Maley horses be able to come out and do this in the past.
was going to say he can do a lot. He can also stand still there for some time. He's just had a strapper go out and help him, so they'll make their way to the barriers all well and good now, no doubt. The 8 is Pull the Trigger, Peter Fernie, Tash Faithful.
Pull the Trigger was able to run Feuding to within a length last start, but I did think he was afforded every opportunity. He did have to try and make a decent move around them throughout, so he did have that momentum, but he just wasn't able to find a real good back to follow that day. And it was also the first time out to the mile this preparation, so he'll come on for that run. He does have a booming turn of foot that day. He probably settles behind our favourite to here, and from there, with even luck in running, I'm just not sure he's going to be able to come over the top of Feuding and beat him home.
The 9 is Dancing Jack, Pamela Oram and Holly Knottle.
Ran a really nice race at odds. 2 starts back did Dancing Jack. He was able to run into third, and he met his similar opposition 2 weeks ago. He was slow out of the machines and was just always finding himself a length or two in running behind our favourites on top. It's probably not the easiest ride for Holly Knottle, so hoping she can try and utilise the gate here with this galloper. But even if she try and does, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to set fast enough for her. So if that's the case, it could just be a difficult watch.
And the 10 is Kalida, David Smith and Jefferson Sang.
I think he's a genuine each-way chance here, Kalida, and I'm surprised the market is just drifting as well. He's your likely leader, and we've seen it being a bit slightly leader-based day today. It's certainly no disadvantage to be out on top. He drops 5 kilos on the last run for only just being beat by Feuding in the last few strides. I thought it was a big run. He's going to be out in front today. It's where you probably want to be, and if you're going to be playing this race, I think you can easily be backing Feuding to win and saving Kalida, because we know Jefferson can get them rolling out in front, and he's certainly going well today with a winner on the board.
Riding in great form for sure, and at that each way quote as well is definitely worth the save bet. Feuding is the favourite, however, opened $3.20 into $2.20 now. Peter Fernie, Lucy Fiore hoping for win number 4 together, and Pete Fernie chasing win number 5 on today's program. Pull the Trigger is the next best. There's quite a gap between these two top price favourites. Is $6 out from opening at $3.80. Kalida next best $6 into $4.40, now at $7.50. Dreamtime Jean $6 out to $8. Santa Bray $9.50 out to $11, and double figures the rest. Maddie, how are we seeing things play out here in the 6th?
2, 10, 4 and 8 are my numbers here, Tess. I've put 2 Feuding on top. I've labelled it my best of the day. I think it's a very smart galloper who does have to beat most of his rivals again here today. But from the gate, I think he's just got the superior turn of foot that he showed. I have put the 10 in for second in Kalida. He carries 10 kilos less than our on-top selection and was only run down late last time they met. I think he's the definite save here today. And at $9 or $8, I think I just saw on markets, you're not going to have to spend too much to do it. 4 in Santa Bray has had no luck so far this season, and the senior rider goes on board today from a wide gate. I do like that setup. And 8 in Pull the Trigger, the stablemate to our favourite. He did have to sustain a run last start, but it still was right there when they needed to be. 2, 10, 4 and 8. Been Feuding on top for the Lucy Fiore and Peter Fernie combination. 2,
10, 4 and 8 here for Maddie in the blue spec grade control drilling handicap of the 1760. 2 Feuding on top. We know how strong his track record is here. 9 starts, 4 wins, 4 seconds, and unfortunately that one other start was held up and very luckless a couple of starts back. So hopefully can get the job done again here. $2.25 and is our Tab Touch favourite, as we hand you upstairs now to Royce Newton to call us home.
Thanks, Tess. Yes, runners moving in well here for the running of race number 6, the Blue Spec Grade Control Drilling Handicap. We're going over the 1760. Strike now about to join the line. Kalida, the stablemate in the black cap. And we've just got Santa Bray and Dreamtime Jean to come forward and complete the line. Your favourite is Feuding at $2.25 with fixed odds betting $2.40 on tote. So Wonder Load. Dreamtime Jean. He hasn't captured his form of last season, but his run last start was better. So just the one to come forward. Thanks, Stu, as Tab Radio join us here at the KBRC for race number 6. This is the Blue Spec grade control drilling handicap. Just awaiting Dreamtime Jean to go forward. Attendants just paying some attention to one drawn out wide. And Dreamtime Jean to come forward now. So Dreamtime Jean comes forward. Braden Garth in the saddle. Red lights on at the 1760. Stand by. Race number 6 from Kalgoorlie. And the starter pushed the button. They're off racing now. Dancing Jack just a stride slow out of the machine. For Your Eyes going back as well. With early speed pushing forward, it's Dreamtime Jean to be on speed. Kalida kicking up on the fence. To the outside, Pull the Trigger trying to cross early on, then Feuding settles down 4th early on the fave. They were followed by Manavendra the fence, one more for Leo, one off. Further back in the field then to Strike Now, who covers up Dancing Jack, Santa Bray in that lot as well, and For Your Eyes is taken back to the tail. 1,200 metres to run, they enter the back straight, and it's Dreamtime Jean for Braden Garth, who shows the way just over a length. Pull the Trigger is working around the outside to second. Down on the inside, we've got the lightly weighted Kalida. Between runners, one more for Leo. They were followed next of all by Feuding, who settles down midfield. This 225 favourite, the inside Manavendra, Santa Bray doing extra work out wide. They were followed a further length and a half, then to Strike Now, For Your Eyes, and Dancing Jack at the tail on the fence. 800 metres to run, and it's Dreamtime Jean who shows the way, that neat length out in front. Running second is Pull the Trigger. They were followed by one more for Leo, who's being injected into the race nice and early. The inside Kalida has had the run of the race, then Santa Bray, followed by Feuding, who's just stalking the leading division in a nice spot. The inside then to Manavendra, followed by For Your Eyes. Well back then to Strike Now, who's held together, and it's Dancing Jack at the tail. 400 metres to run on the point of the turn, and it's Dreamtime Jean first for home, shows out a length. One more for Leo in pursuit. They were followed by Santa Bray, who starts to extend on the inside, Kalida. Then we had Pull the Trigger with Dancing Jack, Feuding down the outside, starting to get warm now. It's Santa Bray who hits the lead from the inside. Dreamtime Jean, Feuding down the outside. Santa Bray goes back to the fence. Here's Feuding, Santa Bray holding on, and it's Santa Bray. Santa Bray wins from Feuding, third in Manavendra. They were followed in by Dreamtime Jean. Then we had Dancing Jack. One more for Leo. Strike Now. For Your Eyes was next. And Pull the Trigger has knocked up a long last after doing plenty of work in the run. Santa Bray for Ross Craig and Alex Hearn. This will be a win celebrated. Good to see the Craig stable getting a winner here at the KBRC this afternoon. Santa Bray, Alex Hearn's given it a peach of a ride. Made its run to the outside. It was a sustained run as well. And once it got the better of Dreamtime Jean, just rolled into the fence. Wanted to follow the rail. Feuding was down the outside, but with the weight of 60 kilos, it just proved too hard. Numbers coming to hand now, 4, 2, 1 and 6. 4, 2, 1 and 6, a short neck by a length and a quarter are the margins. It's Santa Bray who brings up win 5 at start 33 today. This Manhattan rain gelding out of My Sister Lil, owned by F. Fiore and Mrs. J. Fiore. Ross Craig, the trainer, Alex Hearn in the saddle. 2 gets second, Feuding for Pete Fernie and Lucy Fiore by Shooting to Win from Destination Tucson. Owned by Nick Carapalotti, G. Hawkins, Terry Layton, B. Ryan, the 1-1 Pod Syndicate, C. Wells, T. Dunn, B. McManus, C. Lawson, K. Coleman Cox, A. Cooney and N. Addison. Third in the 1, Manavendra for Dan and Ben Pearce, F. and Johnson Porter in the saddle by Deep Field from Shintamani. Owned by the Pierce Racing Syndicate, also Mrs. H. Allison, A. Duffy, R. Viney, R. Peterson, M. Bay, D. Greaves, M. McGee, also Mrs. T. McGee, and we've got N. Ride, J. Riseborough, J. Riddle, L. Landwehr, D. Freighter, J. Bogey, C. Bogey, and B. Power. Fourth in was the 6. That is Dreamtime Jean. Numbers 4, 2, 1 and 6. With 1 to go, it's the Blue Spec Waterwell Drilling Handicap over the 1300. Goes at 4:20. In the meantime, let's cross down to the yard and hear from Ross Craig after the win of Santa Bray.
Had a quick chat with Ross off camera and he's absolutely wrapped. Thanks, Royce. It's a great result, great ride. The senior going on today has been Luckless, I'd say, Maddie, and a very trying, hard horse, and Alex was able to get the best out of him.
He was. In running, it was probably the horse you wanted to be on. I was commenting to you when we were watching it, he just found the 3 wide line and he was just so close to the pace compared to where he has been recently, and that's exactly what the team would have wanted. They wanted Alex to go for it. He's a positive rider. He found a nice spot in running. And on the turn, he did make that sustained effort, but he just made the conclusion that it's better to be out there to be run down rather than trying to out-sprint. So a really good galloper in Feuding, who he got very, very close in there for second. But all credit there to Alex to be able to find that really nice spot in running from barrier 10, which Santa Bray just hasn't had that racing luck so far, and he got it today.
Absolutely. We'll grab a quick word with Alex in a second. He's also booting home plenty of winners and continuing in that strong form here.
He is. Congratulations, Alex. We were just singing your praises off there, then saying from barrier 10, 3 wide with cover, and you just put your horse into the race when you needed to.
Yeah, 100%, Matty. Today is my sister's birthday. She's been gone for a few years now, so she must have been riding with me today. I said, give us a winner today, sis, and here she is.
She certainly didn't disappoint, and we saw you coming back to scales there as well with a very touching tribute. So all the best to you and your family there. Talk us through the ride there with Santa Bray and the team. They've obviously got you on. They wanted to provide yourself and get obviously a bit of a senior rider back on board today.
Yeah, I thought they wanted me to be a bit closer on the speed and if not lead, but I didn't really have the horse underneath me to be that close. So I was positive out the gates and just happy with where I settled, and then I thought, I'll put him into the race a bit earlier. He's genuine, he's fit, so he did everything else. Like I put him in the race at the 800 and he just said, all right, let's go.
That's all you want. Congratulations and all the best to yourself and your family.
Thank you very much, Matty.
There's Alex Hearn combining with Ross Craig and Santa Bray. A great result and a very good feel-good story for Alex as well and his family. Santa Bray takes out the blue SPEC grade control drilling handicap over the 1760 numbers here. 4, 2, 1 and 6. All honours to Santa Bray, Ross Craig and Alex Hearn. Will take a very short break before heading back to Broome.